So here is the carpet out of Sprout. This was up in the loft. I wish I got it out earlier and started to clean it, but it's obviously nice and sunny at the moment, so I thought it'd be a good time to clean it off. If you remember from the early videos, one of the issues Sprout had was the previous owner Tom, a long time ago, bought some top-up oil from Halfords. The cap leaked on it. It was a brand new bottle, and it leaked oil all on the near side floor, so that obviously sunk into the soundproofing in the car, and if you saw that in the early videos, me taking it off, it kind of melted all the soundproofing. So this side of the carpet, it looks pretty good. As usual, these sort of plastic bits which go under the seats are worn out and broken, so I could do with replacing them. I don't know if you can get them anywhere. If anyone knows, let me know, but I can replace them at a later date. Obviously all the original soundproofing in the car's been taken out now. And then what I've done on the back here, so on this, that's the driver's side offside. The original soundproofing, the felt stuff in most cases is absolutely fine, so I'll leave that on there. I reuse that. Just on the very edge here, you can just see where it's slightly oil stained. This side was sopping in oil. It had really soaked it all up, and I remember speaking to Tom, and he told me that when it happened, Halfords paid for the car to be valeted, and they apparently cleaned all these carpets and everything like that, but as you'd have seen with the soundproofing, they obviously didn't get all the oil out. It soaked into all the felt on the back here, so before I put this carpet into storage, I actually ripped off all the felt, but it has soaked into the carpet itself. It still feels, even though, so I've tried really hard. I've cleaned all this carpet with upholstery cleaner, and I've jet washed it off on the hardest setting, and I still can't get it all out. I sprayed brake cleaner over it and wiped it. I can't get it off. So honestly, if you spill oil in a car, or someone does it and they tell you they're just going to clean it out, no way. You need a new carpet really. I could probably do that with this on Sprout, but yeah, maybe a job for the future, that, but certainly not at the moment. So what I'm going to do, I've got a load of offcuts off Mark. So this is Silent Coat closed cell foam, and this is actually meant to replace this type of like fabric sound deadening here. Not going to do both sides because I haven't quite got enough, although I might do, but I'm obviously going to stick the closed cell foam on this side now to get this side done. And that's kind of an upgrade for the felt stuff, but the only thing I'm concerned about, it's not going to stick on here very good. I mean, it's still, even though it's been washed and everything like that, you can still feel it's a little bit oily and sticky, but it doesn't matter too much whether it does or doesn't stick. I could stick it direct to the floor, but yeah, I might do that yet actually, I'm not sure. But either way, it just needs to sit there underneath the carpet. It probably doesn't even need to be stuck, to be honest. In fact, I could do that. I don't know. I'll see how I get on anyway. But like I say, the carpet itself is not too bad. There's no big rips in it or anything like that. Right, this is kind of the, I guess, the next level of sound coating. So it's got the Silent Coat silver, which is a vibration and what is it, vibration and like acoustic damper, and then above that you should have another layer. You shouldn't just rely on the Silent Coat. If you've got the original carpets in the car, there's like a felt liner on the bottom, or you can buy this closed cell foam, which is like adhesive backed, which can go on as well. You'll notice, seems a bit odd, I've only done half the car and the rear seat squab. That is because that is the side of the carpet where it got all soaked with oil. So the original sort of fibre sound deadening that's on the back of the carpet, on the MPI carpet, so I had to take all off on the other side, but it's still okay on this side. So it's going to kind of be half and half. I know some people will go, I don't know, some people might think that's a bit mad, but it's again, it's just cost at the end of the day. I got this silent coat off Mark. It was left over from Project Bolt. It was used on the roofing Project Bolt. Mark had some spare. There's not enough to do both sides, so I'm only going to do the half that needs doing rather than doing both sides so they match. So this side will have the OEM standard sound deadening, which is on the bottom of the carpet, and the other side is the closed cell foam that you get from silent coat. Maybe I'll be able to do an experiment and tell you if it's quieter from the passenger seat. I'm sure it's honestly, I'm sure it's not going to make much difference. Next step is to get the carpet back in, I guess. Right, and that's the carpet in. So yeah, still things I need to clean up and fit, like the gear lever gaiter. And it's not perfect, that carpet, although it is in pretty good condition. It's not threadbare anywhere. There's no big rips in it. The bits are worn out for the seat, but they always wear out. So if anyone knows where you can buy them, get replacement material, or maybe I can rivet that in. But I'm pretty pleased with that. MPI carpets, I actually quite like them because they're one piece. So you can fit them in other minis as well. You don't have to worry like with other minis, the carpets always come off and they don't fit that nicely. MPI carpets don't fit perfectly, but the fact that they're one piece means they look quite neat and tidy, I think. They are flipping expensive though if you want to buy a replacement. Second-hand ones go for probably 150 quid upwards. You can get like left-hand drive ones which go for a little bit cheaper. I see a new old stock one recently going for 500 quid in like that blue colour, which is a bit mad. Obviously black are quite sought after because they go with pretty much any colour. But yeah, so I would normally say it feels like a milestone complete, but still a long way to go. But there isn't a long way to go. I actually feel quite sad because it is very, very nearly finished. And I feel sad because normally I'd really be looking forward to maybe doing the last bit, booking it for an MOT, and then really enjoying that, taking it down for an MOT bit. But who knows when that'll be. Just a little tip, guys, don't do as I do. So the gear lever gaiter has to go in before you fit the carpet. Otherwise, if you're a numpty like me, you have to take the carpet back out again to fit the gear lever gaiter.
Apologies viewers, every now and again we get a corrupt file on the SD card, and that's what's happened here. So I had just wet vacked off the front seats, now moving on to the back, and I just cleaned them up with some upholstery cleaner and then the wet vac to take the water away.
These rear squabs should come up like new, really. They don't really get that dirty. I suppose if I was being really careful, I'd use a clean bucket of water as well. Right, let's let these dry off and see what they look like in a couple of hours. Right, let's have a look in the wet bag. I'm sure this will be pretty minging. Yeah, it looks pretty skanky. It's quite surprising how much water it takes out, actually. It looks like milk chocolate. And there's the seats. I'm actually pretty pleased with how they've come out. And they're drying really quickly as well because it's nice and hot. What I thought might happen is the rears would look really much cleaner than the fronts, because like I say, especially the driver's side, but they're all pretty evenly clean, which is cool. They're not perfect. This driver's seat, the bolster's gone this side and the trim's just starting to crack, but maybe I can get hold of a new base or the trim for the base and change that at some point. But no, pretty pleased with that. Right, that's the rear seats back in now. I'm pretty pleased with them, they look pretty good. On the floor we've got the original floor mats. They were actually John Cooper accessory floor mats. Now the fronts were completely and utterly shot to bits, so I threw them away, but the rear ones are fine. I wish I'd kept the front ones now, because when I looked on eBay there was someone selling a pair for about 65-70 quid I think, but they were pretty shot. And obviously, like I've mentioned before, it does all take ages, so you know, I've got the rear seats in, and then I've cleaned the seat belts as well, pulled them out, cleaned them up with upholstery cleaner, so we'll leave them extended. I'll pull them out a little bit further and let them dry off. But yeah, pretty pleased with that. The door bins we've riveted in rather than put screws, because I think they were originally riveted. They probably have black rivets, but I haven't got any black rivets, so it'll have silver. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. It's looking good. Let's get the front seats in. And that's the front seats in now. Dashboard still looks a bit ropey because it's got to come out again, so there's a couple of dash bowls blown and indicators don't work on the front, so I think I've left something disconnected. But again, pretty pleased with the result so far. Well, it's the dash and the interior 99% finished now. I do still need to do the sun visors, they need a bit of cleaning up, and the rear view mirror. So it's pretty standard inside here, which is exactly how I want it. There are some bits left over, which I carried on over though, modified bits. So we've got the chrome rings on the fresh air vents, and of course we've got our mini 60 gear knob, which I got from the IMM in Bristol last year, really because this build started on the 60th anniversary of the Mini. Walnut dash isn't perfect, it is delaminating in some places, but it's reasonably tidy. And of course we've got the original Mini cassette radio, which unfortunately doesn't work. Completely shot to bits. I had a look at the printed circuit board inside and it's all corroded up.